Hello everyone, I am your host Shouryaa Sharma and welcome to the first episode of UpEncrypt, a podcast where I bring conversations with technopreneurs from around the world about tech insights, innovations and impacts. In today's episode, we have Tashish RaiSinghani, the co-founder and CEO of UnicusOne, a company that's building a multi-chain NFT platform for tokenizing real-world and metaverse assets. During this conversation, we discussed Web3 and the decentralized applications that run on the blockchain, such as NFTs and cryptocurrencies, as well as his journey of building a business based on emerging tech and the challenges he went through. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow for more and stay tuned for the next one. Without further ado, here is Tashish RaiSinghani on Web3 and how to build a business. Alright, let's start with the basic question. The most basic question the most cliched question in podcasts. So, who is Tashish RaiSinghani when it comes to entrepreneurship, being a leader, a co-founder and CEO of a company, a Web3 company, and who is Tashish RaiSinghani outside of work?
Okay, so you want my introduction, and with a flowery question you've framed it. So, I'll talk about the professional life first. So, technology. Let me admit it that I'm not from engineering background. I am.
Love that.
I have not done any computer course or any engineering course. I'm a commerce graduate, but I was very much interested into all emerging technologies. Just like you, you like reading, you like knowing about things. I was also quite intrigued by any new technology, any new innovation that's happening, be it in any domain. So I was in different kinds of businesses earlier, but talking about the last decade, I started my career with a company which was into building applications, web portals, mobile apps, ERP systems, digital transformation for enterprises, and the founder of that company, he was a known person, he was a friend, and he gave me a chance to, because I knew business, I knew what business is, and I also know that technology is just an enabler, and I understood the value of technology, but I did not know any tea about technology. So he was my mentor, he guided me and made me understand how to, not exactly how to, but what are we selling. So I joined him as a co-founder with very small equity stake, and just I was responsible to get revenue. So this is how it started. I took care of domestic market initially, then I introduced the company to Middle East, Southeast Asia, some other parts of the world. I built strategies for them, and so I dwelled upon our expertise, which was the company's expertise, which was a good technical team, and we used to get clients from all over the world and work, and they used to outsource their technology work to us. This is how it started. I did this for almost 4 to 5 years, and then I got to a point and I realized that this is a very competitive market. See, competition is everywhere, but when a company starts getting competition from individuals, freelancers, and low quality work, then the juice goes away. Then there is no fun doing it, right? So then we jointly thought that we have to foray into either some emerging technology or into a specific industry, specific domain, like maybe fintech, healthcare, or manufacturing, or anything. So while we were exploring all these opportunities available in market, we were reading about this is about end of 2015 or early 2016. We read about Bitcoin and the technology behind it, blockchain and this and that, and we started listening to YouTube videos by Khan Academy, free content on Sunday mornings. So we used our weekends to learn about it, and then we somehow got fair understanding that we were confident that we can at least start providing services of blockchain. So, and interestingly, we got two of team members who were also interested, the engineers, the software developers, who also knew about this technology, and they were quite keen to try their hand. So we didn't want to hire any talent and take risk because we did not know how will this work. And two of guys volunteered. They also learned, and we spread the word, that we are doing blockchain. We are providing blockchain services, and I remember fairly very well that there were just two companies in India who were doing this, including us. So this was quite a different time, and I remember that within a couple of weeks we landed a project, a good amount project, and we successfully delivered it in a given period of time. The client was happy. He was ready to give some testimonials for us, and the journey started from there. And then it's a long story. We did a lot of work. We were one of the premier companies for at least 4 years in India who did most of the work in the blockchain space. For outsourced work, we used to do work for other people.
Right.
So this is how it started. So during your other questions, you will get to know my entrepreneurial journey. I have just started. So otherwise, this question will cover everything. The entire
that's great.
story.
That's great. Love that. Okay, so in Web3, we have these 4 things, very popular things. We have NFTs, we have blockchain, we have metaverse, and then we have the word Web3 itself. If you could explain these 4 terms, Web3, NFT, blockchain, and metaverse, to people who have no clue what that means, how would you?
Great. So I'll give you a analogy which I think will make you and the listeners understand who don't know about this. So like we have internet and we have e-commerce.
Okay.
So internet is the underlying technology and e-commerce is an application built over that. Right. So this is the same. So Web3 is a technology, and NFTs, metaverse, and other DeFi apps, these are the applications built over it. Okay. So that's a broader explanation. I'll come to Web3 first. So in a very layman's language, like when you study management, so there is a very common question which is asked, is that what is management? So the best answer and the most accurate answer is management is what managers do. So that's a simple one, but that covers a lot of things. So likewise, I'll explain you what Web 1 was, Web 2 is, and Web 3 will be, and Web 3 is. So Web 1 is just read only. Web 1 was just read only. There were publications, there were informative websites, maybe a company's website where you can just read the information about company, a newsletter, newspaper publications, magazines, any information that you can just read, just consume. It was one-way communication.
Right.
Then Web 2 came up and it was more interactive. Like now you can chat using WhatsApp. It's a dual communication. Then you have a form on website which you can fill and the other party would get it. So it's now two-way, read and write. The interesting thing about Web3 is it's read, write and own. So the ownership part is the most important, which is actually, you'll understand in the further talk that what ownership means here. So this is the broad classification, I would say, among Web 1, Web 2 and Web 3. And these are the applications built over it. If you want me to explain about NFTs, metaverse, right now, it would be a bit early. Maybe after 2 or 3 questions, we will move to that.
No worries. So, what are some unique features and benefits that Web3 offers that other techs they don't?
Good. So this is actually a good preceding, the good upcoming question after we spoke about ownership. So Web3 entails to a complete decentralized system. So by decentralization, we mean that there is no by decentralization we mean eradicating central authorities. Central authorities means any individual, company, maybe government, big institution, or any entity.
The middlemen.
Yeah, you can call them middlemen. Definitely, you can call them middlemen. But any entity which
Imposes rules, external rules.
yeah, the rules are imposed by them. But my point here is that any company which keeps the custody of your data, your information, your information, which should be owned by you.
Right.
That's called a centralized authority. Like people now give an example of Facebook a lot. That so Facebook is a UGC platform, user generated content. They don't generate their own content. You go to Facebook or you go to Instagram, you generate your content, you post it. Some other person who consumes it. So you are the provider. There is a consumer there of that content, but all the rules, all the regulations, all the algorithms, all the data is owned by Instagram, by Meta. So that's quite ironical, and they make money out of it. You don't make it. So this is Web2. This is a centralized system, and if you're able to own the data, we're taking again an example of Instagram. The picture you upload is not stored in Meta's cloud server. It's stored in a decentralized storage, and it's owned by you. No one else can claim the ownership. Then it's a completely decentralized system. So this is a major difference. It's a revolution, and as I tell everybody that Web3 is not more of technology. It's more of a perception. It's more of a revolution. It's more of a thought process. And of course, it is enabled by a technology. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. And we are seeing some, and then it's a natural extension of society. So people, the citizens, the normal people have been abused by these centralized system in some ways or the other. There have been multiple incidences. It's latest in news. The banks going bust in US. So banks are one of the examples. It's that they are quite easy to manipulate because eventually it's humans who are handling, and humans are all made up of greed. So this is bound to happen. So Web3 was a natural extension which a society needed, and it's just the start. It's just 0.0%, maybe less than that, of what we see today. It'll be changing. It'll be changing very rapidly. It'll bring a sea change, a good big revolution.
Right, got it. Let's talk about impact of Web3 on the global economy, on different industries, wherever the impact can be created.
Okay, so in terms of, so there are, so we cannot have a umbrella answer to it. Every industry has a, so see, I'll give you a very theoretical answer to it, and we can draw a lot of inferences.
Got it.
So wherever so I'll tell you first what blockchain or Web3 gets to the table. So it creates an audit trail of whatever has happened, which is immutable. You cannot erase it. Once it's written, it's written. You cannot back off. That's one. And it's completely transparent. People can easily, say for example, go to an explorer and see all the transactions. So transparency is there, audit trail is there, immutability is there, ownership, which I spoke about, which is decentralization, that's there. So this is how the impact comes in play. Now coming to the industries. So in any industry, there are multiple stakeholders. So there is a lot of trust deficit. So say for example, a very, very simple example I'll give you. I hire you as a freelance content writer. I talk to you on phone, I write a message to you, and you confirm that you will provide me X service against a remuneration of Y amount. But somehow you don't deliver it on time, or you don't deliver it, or you go absconding, or maybe I go absconding. I pay you half the money and your work is done, and I don't pay you the other half. So you can't do anything. You can just go to the court and claim that amount, which is of course very small. You won't go to court. So there is a trust deficit. The trust this was a small use case, but there are multiple day-to-day transactions where there is a very less trust, and so that's why we call blockchain as a trustless system. You don't need to have, you don't even see the need of building trust. The system is made in such a manner that trust as a virtue is not at all needed. So, and in every industry, wherever the transparency problem, where there is a audit problem, where there is an ownership problem, blockchain is relevant.
And that's everywhere.
Everywhere. And then talking about very generic use cases, it's cross-border payments is one. Like Bitcoin got successful. It was a store of value, but now and a medium of exchange as well. So my guy sitting in Philippines is working. Maybe he's doing some design job for me, and I have to pay him $100, and I am sitting in Singapore. I am a resident of India. I just have to click 2-3 buttons and he gets the money in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds without any mediator fee. And if I go through the banking system, I might have to be in India, come back to India, initiate the transfer. It'll take 3 days for him to receive the money. And the banks play around in between.
Chaotic.
So payment is a good use case of blockchain. There is a huge change in the financial systems, what we call DeFi, decentralized finance. So there is exchange of currencies in DeFi. There is lending, there is borrowing, there is staking. So huge lot of initiatives are being taken. It's proven. And it's a $1 trillion industry now, and it's all available on the internet. You can see. So DeFi is a great use case. Then there are enterprise use case in insurance, in banking, in supply chain. Supply chain is a good use case, and certification. So hell lot of it. Wherever these problems are there, we can implement blockchain. But then again, people use blockchain as a novelty factor, and then sometimes blockchain is not even needed, but just to add that fancy word, they try to implement blockchain, but it's of no use there.
Right. Now let's talk about blockchain and NFT in metaverse. I think now is a good time to talk about that.
Yeah, now it is. So see, we'll talk about the F in NFT first. So that's fungibility.
Right.
So I mean, if there is any economics student hearing it, they know fungibility very well. So money, one of the attributes or characteristics of money is fungibility. So I have a 2,000 rupee note in my pocket, and you have a 2,000 rupee note in pocket. These both are different pieces of paper. There are different numbers written on it, but they both are of exactly same value.
Right.
If we change these notes, then there is no change of value. The value remains same. So that's why we call it fungible. Like even if we exchange it, the value remains same. And it's a non-fungible asset. And then NFTs are non-fungible tokens, which means that they are all unique.
Got it.
Every token has a unique value, and this happens when we tokenize any digital asset. Tokenization typically means publishing or registering your digital asset on blockchain, so that it acquires all these attributes which I told you: transferability, transparency, decentralized ownership. So this asset becomes a unique token which you hold. And so I'll give you, there are multiple use cases of NFTs which people are working on. Some are successful, some are under process. So one of the very famous and a very I would say validated use case is digital art and collectibles. So if you are an artist, and especially a digital artist, and you create any artwork, so if it's just a JPEG file and you transfer it to anybody, it's an open domain. Anybody can use it, misuse it, put their own name, and you don't get the exact value. Now you just have it on blockchain and convert that digital asset into an NFT, then it creates a lot of value. So I'll start with the first one, that whoever holds that NFT is the owner of that art. That's the first thing. Then whenever it changes hands, if A sells to B, like A, you are the artist, you sell it to me, I am B. And when B sells to C, like if I sell to any third party, A can put a royalty amount there, royalty percentage there, that whenever B sells to C or C sells to D, or it changes hands, there would be a specific percentage that you will get automatically without involving any third party, any intermediary here. But this is a beautiful use case, especially in terms of individual artists, or maybe art is the use case I'm talking about here, but many of the individual owners of assets. Royalty is a very good use case.
Right.
So NFT is mostly about this, and metaverse is something which is not new. It's quite old, and gaming and metaverse is actually a very good use case, which I'll briefly explain. So have you been playing, or do you play any game? Which is your favorite?
Yeah, Minecraft is there.
Yeah. So whatever asset you create on Minecraft, then again the same ownership problem is there. Whenever you create an asset, it's owned by the company called Minecraft, who has built that game. And the problem is that the skill which was involved in maybe earning any points, earning any character, any avatar, anything, any life, that is just a number for you, a virtual number shown on computer. It's not of any value. But if we involve blockchain into it, if we maybe make those assets into NFT, then that company is not the owner. You become the actual owner. You can trade it outside. You can keep it as a novelty or whatever. There are multiple use cases. So metaverse as a visual delight was always there, but having these value of NFTs added to it's become a revolution again.
So blockchain is a use case. So it basically is used in creating NFTs, or
Yes. So see, blockchain is a technology which is I won't go, though I'm not a technical guy, but I understand a bit of technicalities there. So it's a mix of multiple technologies which were there in since a long period of time, and encryption is one of them, and cryptography is one of them. So it's a mixture of all these technologies. So the technology was, I would say, the first use case of technology was Bitcoin blockchain, which is I think the first validator of this, that this technology works. It still hasn't been hacked in so many years. I think 14 years or 13 years. And so that's technology. The underlying technology behind Bitcoin is blockchain. And so there are multiple protocols built on blockchain. There are layer 1 protocols, layer 2 protocols. Say for example, Ethereum is the famous one, the most famous, most used one. Then there is Avalanche, then there is BNB chain, then there are some good famous layer 2 protocols, Polygon, earlier known was Matic, and multiple, and people are building it on a regular basis. So these protocols provide infrastructure on which applications are built. So NFT is one of those applications.
All right.
So there are decentralized applications. So for NFTs, I would say a famous name is Magic Eden, OpenSea, Rarible. So these are NFT platforms.
Decentraland.
Decentraland is a metaverse
Okay, yeah,
platform.
because you buy the land. Yeah,
Right.
got it.
That's a metaverse. But there also you create NFTs of those assets. So these platforms enable users to mint their NFTs. So when you create a token in traditional way, also we call it minting. So here also we say it's minting. When you can mint a NFT on these blockchains like Ethereum using applications like OpenSea, Rarible. You can list it for sale. People can buy it, then use it, sell it on secondary market. So this is mostly NFT is a use case built over blockchain.
All right, got it. So tech part is good. Let's talk about business. My favorite, your favorite part, business. So one more very cliched question, but very, very important too, which is the motivation. The motivation behind starting UnicusOne. Because you told back in 2015, you were hunting for Web3, you were looking for Web3. Because at that time, there were emerging techs too, like AI, VR, XR. So why Web3?
Yeah, so for me, this might sound very cliche, but it is the truth that I like the idea of ownership.
Right, yeah.
So the 2008 crisis, the emergence of Bitcoin coincides with the 2008 crisis, and that's a different story. We can talk about that elaborately sometime else. But yeah, so my personal reason for at least trying to know this technology, getting into it was different, but trying and studying more, learning more about it was the ownership part, that the decentralization part, that was the initial motivator, I would say. Then once you start getting business, you start understanding the industry, and if there is revenue and you start knowing people start knowing you, then I won't say it becomes easy, but it becomes it keeps you motivated to work hard. So that was the journey all about. And when we talk about UnicusOne, so in technology and in any knowledge economy, there are two parts, I would say. The first one is providing service, any kind of service. So for us in IT, it's like building a tech platform, a tech product for a third party. Somebody comes to us with a set of requirement, we build it for them, transfer it to them, and it's their product. The second part is building your own product. So of course, for any it has a lot of see, everybody has their own perception. I am not criticizing services because I have been doing it since a decade now, and it's a good money making engine. But building your own product gives you a great satisfaction that you've built something, you've created something.
Definitely.
And apart from that, there is good monetary value as well. You learn as an individual, you learn as a teammate, you learn as a co-founder. There is a lot of hustle around it. So yeah, but the reason for Unicus to start UnicusOne was that being in the industry for 3-4 years, I understood the gap that it's not very easy to find good developers. It's not very easy to find good talent. People need to. I'll talk about talent also in a later part. But then I found the gap that people want to get into blockchain, but they don't have talent, and they want to use tools, or they want to be aware. And we thought that we can do it for them. And it's not that it was something that only we were doing. There were a lot of people. But being in the industry, I found the gap and then initiated this company and product called Unicus.
Great. How did you find the name UnicusOne? Because it sounds very different and it's a very good name actually.
Unicus means unique, and I'm not sure Greek or Latin, but in any in a foreign language it means unique, and one means unique one. So Unicus, it's not just unique; it's a unique one.
Did it take time to find this?
Yes. It took a lot of time, and since during my servicing days, I was working with a lot of startups. So I've been not only building products for startups, I have also been consulting them And there are a many of times, and there were a many of times then that entrepreneurs would come to us and discuss an idea and give us an option to invest. By invest, they would say that if you like the idea, you don't charge us for development, and we would give you some equity, some sweat equity, or whatever you name it. So we used to work very closely with founders. They used to work very passionately. And since those days, there were a lot of times that people don't get to find a name for their startup. It's really very difficult because it's not just about name. If you want a name, then you need to have a domain for that as well. It should be available. The relevant extension should be available. So mostly, I mean, I don't know about a lot of people, but a lot of people I know, and a lot of people and myself as well. So I go into these sites like Namecheap or GoDaddy to search the name of the product. So this is how it started, and I did not want .com, .io or anything. I wanted something else. And UnicusOne match, it's Unicus.one matched.
Right.
But there are multiple use cases that we are working on. So you would see Unicus.world, Unicus.finance, Unicus. Any club, anything. So you'll see a lot of things in coming times.
That's great. Love that. How did you assess or close down onto your target market? Because in Web3, finding that is a little difficult. It's
Good.
new. That's
I'll answer this question in a different manner. So target market is something. The market is not very big. I'll tell you very frankly. But the only thing that I have understood is the market is defined. It's clearly defined. You need to identify it. That's a difficult task, but it's a defined market. But it's a small market. There is a lot of talk about blockchain, about Web3, about decentralization, but there are a lot of factors which have this domain is not able to pick up with the speed that it was expected. So first one I would say is user experience. So for using a completely decentralized platform, you need to have some basic understanding of using some Web3 products like a non-custodial wallet, for example, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or anything. You need to have a basic understanding how to operate it. So in our initial days, we used to, there was a artist group in Africa. So they did not know anything about MetaMask, but they knew what NFTs were because it was a buzzword back then. And so I had 3 guys working very closely with them. We used to transfer gas fees to their wallet, ask them to create their own wallet. They used to mint their NFTs, publish it on our platform. And yeah, I mean, it worked well. So user experience is one problem. Then infrastructure is not up to the mark at the moment because this is a very, very new technology. We're just in the very initial days. I think both of us are lucky that we are among the top 0.5% of the world population who are into this industry. So we are quite fortunate, and that we are at the right place at the right time. So that's one part to it, that user experience was an issue, the technology infrastructure, because the speed, there is if we have to compromise a bit on speed if we want complete decentralization. If we do not compromise on speed, then we have to compromise on security or maybe exact ownership. So that's called blockchain trilemma. I'll talk about it. There are 3: the scalability. I'll talk about it definitely.
Got it.
So the market is very, again coming back, is very small. It is easily identifiable, but not anybody can do it because they need to understand the actual need. Who would need blockchain as an individual, as a market, and who would spend on it?
Right.
So I spent a lot of time with my research guys, with my co-founders, and then we were able to identify that this is needed, and this is where we are.
Right. It takes time. So any changes that your company has undergone which has had a lot of impact on your company?
Yes, there have been a lot of changes, and being in the startup ecosystem and in business since a fair amount of time now, I have understood one thing which I've been telling you. I mean, I had understood it in my early days that never fall in love with an idea, just flirt with it, and if it's made for you, it'll
Right,
work
right.
for you. So this is how. So we started with. So when we started UnicusOne, it was NFT marketplace, a typical NFT marketplace, but there were a few different attributes which made us unique. So, but we never wanted to be we never wanted to be a B2C platform like OpenSea, Rarible. We wanted to a B2B service provider, which means that we wanted to onboard those companies which are at present into Web2 domain. They want to transition into Web3. So we built some tools, some smart contracts, some SDKs, APIs, which we could implement in just one day and seamlessly transition a Web2 portal into Web3 just in one day. And that's how I coined the term Web3 as a service. So we would charge a very small amount of onboarding, and then there was all transactions. So it was a fast market. Within I think 3 to 4 weeks, we managed to acquire 4 partnerships, and all these companies. One was a blockchain-based ticketing company. The other was a content creation company. They plan to tokenize content of social media influencers. Then there was a cross-border payment company, and then there was a metaverse company. So our business depended on all these startups, and so a couple of them they worked well. They are still our partners, working very well. But then the rest, they could not pivot, and they could not grow, maybe raise investments or whatever the problem is. So our thing was that our business was dependent on startups who were also dependent on market. So that was not a very good. I mean, the idea was good, bad is something which the result tells. So eventually the result was not good, but the idea was good, and so we realized, no, we can't do this. We need to have some predictability and some real world use case that we do ourselves, not getting dependent on others. So we explored a lot on real value assets. So for me, I mean, I still don't consider uh, collectibles and art as a very big market. It is a very big value product, very big value proposition, but it's not a very big market. It doesn't even is somewhere near the hype it has created. And then you must have seen in the last couple of months where NFTs are, how much
Right,
is it
right, right.
traded. So we're working mostly on real value assets. And to start with, just getting into real estate, there has been a commitment, principal commitment from a couple of companies who are tokenizing. One is tokenizing their commercial building, and one is a residential building. So let's see how it goes.
Got it, got it. So one thing's for sure is that Web3's developments, they happen very rapidly, very quickly. So how do you stay up to date with that? Because that's difficult.
It's difficult, but it's now become a lifestyle. So, on a very being very honest, Web two. 12 months in Web 2 is 4 to 5 months in Web 3. It's so fast. So I won't say you need to work 18 hours a day, but yes, definitely we need to be active at least 14-15 hours a day. And for my services also, like whenever I used to ask a client that, yeah, everything is fine, we understand what you want to do, and we know that you'll pay us the X amount, but when do you want to launch this? So there was a constant answer from everybody that we wanted it yesterday. So that was a standard answer, and that still is. If I discuss any use case, any feature addition to my co-founder, and she asked me that when do you want this to go live with, I always say, don't ask me, it's always yesterday. So we are always late because this industry moves so fast, and there is a big reason, very very good and big reason behind it, that most of the founding teams have somebody who is deep into this technology, who's a first generation Web3 engineer. They don't rely on any third party, any company or any other developer. They think about it and they build it and they launch it. So you need to be up to the mark. You need to be very open. You need to be open. You need to have open eyes, open ears. I mean, you need to be very active in. You got my point.
I got your point. Is there any partnership or collaboration you did after which you were like, oh, great, this is the point, I have like achieved something great, something good with the company?
So something great or good, I won't categorize it like that, but especially in Web3, it's all about collaboration. People co-create a lot of things. So see, to start with, once you choose to build a dApp, you need to build it on a protocol. Like if I plan to build it on Polygon blockchain or Near blockchain or Avalanche blockchain, then even without doing it explicitly, I'm partnering with that company. So this industry works on partnerships only, and so we were quite fortunate enough to be recognized and given grants by 3 of the chains, Polygon, Near, and one chain which is not working anymore. So they appreciated our work. They gave us grants. It was a good partnership. Then I told you about the 4 startups. That was all partnerships.
Right.
So then there are there are a lot of features, because see, you can't build all the features in one platform. It's just that if I need a module, I need to build a module which I think should not be there. It's not my core business. And one of my co-founders, which I know I had met in Taiwan or I had met in Bangalore or anywhere, I heard that he was building something. I just speak to him and he said that, yeah, I'm ready with this project and it's a plug and play thing. You can integrate it tomorrow. So we do an immediate partnership. So this is how this industry works, and that's really a good part. So people grow together.
Okay, got it. Was there any challenge present, like any oh fuck scenario, ki now I'm dead, that scenario during the building of the company, that you were like shit scared ki I have no clue what's gonna happen next?
See, this happens every time. Whenever you are about to get on an important call, then you understand that if it's a yes, then it's amazing. If it's a no, then you have to rethink, and then plan your strategies. So no, I mean, see, for me as a person, I am not quite scared. Scared, I mean, quote unquote, scared as a word doesn't generally happen. Yes, we are anxious, and there are moments when we feel bad. We laugh, we cry. That's all part of business. But yeah, as a personality, I don't get scared. To be honest, because I've seen a lot of my entrepreneur life is quite wavy. I've seen big highs, big lows. I've met a lot of people. So basically I understand almost all the virtues, and I seriously enjoy that. I won't say I enjoy the misery, but yeah, I enjoy the waviness and I enjoy the unpredictability. If everything is predictable, then it's like doing a general 9 to 5 job, which I of course don't. I don't say that it's a bad thing, because if everybody thinks like that, then who will I hire? But for me, it's if it's exciting, then it comes with some kind of anxiety also.
Right. Because for me, it's the biggest fear. 9 to 5 is the biggest fear for me. I've seen my parents come home like late nights and go early mornings, and I'm like, I can't do this. I really can't do this.
Yeah, so that's what. So if I would just make it explain in a very broad term. My biggest fear is predictability. So if I'm predicted to be somewhere on a daily basis at a specified time, even if it's not needed,
right,
then it's all gone.
That's great. So before starting this, you were talking about AI and stuff. How AI, it's booming right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about AI and Web3? And what do you think is going to happen? The disruption. Do you think it's going to replace your blockchain programmers or something like that?
No. See. This bigger than AI is the ChatGPT is the buzzword, and bigger than ChatGPT is the buzzword that AI will replace you or not. I don't think so. I mean, see, there is a lot of subjectivity involved in a lot of things. So yes, it's again a cliche answer. AI won't replace anybody. The person will be replaced who doesn't know how to use AI.
Exactly. Yeah.
That he needs to at least build something on AI, at least understand what AI can do. I mean, if you can, if AI, if you're a employee and if AI is your potential enemy, then you need to be friends with your enemy. You need to just understand how this works, and it's all seamless. Just make them your partner. So I don't see any fear there for anybody. But talking about this conjunction, this overlap of AI and Web3, it has beautiful, wonderful use cases. I was talking to somebody just yesterday, and they came up with the idea of something in edtech sector for building for students, and they were saying that man, we need to, can we get blockchain into it, can we get AI into it? So without listening to the idea, I said, I mean, these are just fancy words, don't think of implementing it.
That's right.
I first asked him that do you even know where will this be used? Well, I don't know, I just want to add it. And the most interesting part is I asked him to explain me the use case, and that use case definitely had a chance to integrate both AI and what do you call blockchain.
Right.
So yeah, it has it has a very good use case, because see, AI is intelligence. Intelligence brings you information, and that information is very has to be very secure, used in a very responsible manner, which blockchain can solve. Talking about any use case, there is a very good use case in healthcare domain, which I understand.
Patents.
Patents is a very good use case for blockchain. Till now I don't have anything in the AI to add to it, but on health records, because India as a country, of course, we know it's a big country. There are a lot of patients, so there is a lot of research that is done here, and there is a good amount of data available, and this data can be used for data modeling. That the AI and machine learning can be used very well. A good model is only created when you have ample amount of data, and once you have that data and a good model is worked upon, those results can be stored, because that data is of an individual patient.
Right.
That data can be stored on blockchain and owned by them.
Yeah.
Because it's their data, it's their ownership.
Yeah.
So this is one of the use cases that I see. There is a lot of talk going around about this, but nothing much is being implemented yet. It's too early also.
Right.
But down the line, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 1 year, you'll see some really good products coming up in conjunction of these two technologies.
Right. Any emerging techs or businesses in the Web3 space you think is gonna change the entire industry drastically? Like this Polygon, I think was happening a few days back. It's this on LinkedIn, I guess. That Polygon is collaborating with a few people. I don't remember the exact news, but it was something.
See, Polygon as a company, it's a very innovative blockchain. They have a very good research team, very amazing founding team as well. So they do a lot of collaborations, and as I told you, this industry is all about partnerships and collaborations. So that goes on regularly, but I'm not very sure that anything which has not come yet and coming in near future, which will drastically change anything, because all the possibilities, there are a few things that are not live at the moment, and there are a few problems due to government compliance and regulations. Like crypto is still not acceptable in India, which is a big constraint for building a completely decentralized system. Just a couple of weeks back, I met somebody very senior in the government, and I asked them. I just told them that because their stand is common since last 6-7 years. I'm hearing that they don't want crypto to be legit in India, and that's their very stern stand. So I asked them that what's the stand now? So the lady said, no, we're still the same. Then I said that if I come up with any solution where you don't need crypto but you can use blockchain, well, then we are most welcome. We embrace this technology without crypto. So people are trying to work out solutions. I don't know. Let's see how quickly or how late it happens. But then people in other parts of the world are cautiously doing it. Innovation is happening. Indians are going outside and doing it, but not for their own country.
Yeah.
So that's quite ironic.
Because Bahar, like outside of India, people love crypto. But yahan in India, crypto, scam. That's the first thing people say. Crypto is a scam. But not out there. Out there, people actually embrace crypto, but not here.
It's easy to create scammy projects in crypto, that's for sure. And see, government has its own limitations, its own challenges. It's a democracy. You need to take care of people who have built this government. You need to make regulations for the vulnerable. I mean, who can't help themselves. So there need to be policies which. We need to have intelligent people creating policies with a mix of safety and innovation. People are working. I'm not saying that they're not trying to work, but yeah, it's still not happening. It'll take some more time.
Right. All right. Last question. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are looking to build a platform or enter the Web3 industry?
I mean, see, entrepreneurs are smart enough themselves. Why would they need any? If there is any specific advice, I would definitely give. But for the upcoming generation, I have some good advice. So I've been working with a lot of young people, developers. My co-founder is also quite young. And I've seen that the first generation Web3 developers, by first generation, I mean that they understood technology through blockchain only, the IT industry through blockchain. They never coded on any Web2 framework. They started working on smart contracts, they started working on Web3. So these guys understand blockchain very well. So I call them native crypto people. So they understand this industry well, they understand the technology well, they work very fast, they're Gen Z guys, they are quite flexible. They don't have any baggage, the Web2 baggage with them. So it's a good market. So for them, there are a lot of opportunities. You can be a developer. If you are good at researching, there is a huge scope of research and content writing. If you're good at talking to people, being social, then there is, because blockchain is all about community building, there is a huge amount of opportunity in community building, digital marketing, a lot of opportunities, not just technology. I mean, then business development is a very different, it's done in a very different manner here. You can do that. Analytics, a huge number. I mean, especially for the upcoming students who are just getting out of college or who want to shift their careers early time. Maybe they've done 1 year of coding in Java, PHP or anything. They want to learn. They can easily, quickly learn, get into it. You just need to read, understand, be very mindful. Understand the technology first and then get into it. Huge opportunity, and it's global. It's not just for India. You can work sitting here. You can work for somebody in New York, somebody in Africa, somebody in London, anywhere.
Right. Got it. Thank you for doing this. 56 minutes, great conversation. I loved it, every single second of it. We'll do one more soon because I love the idea of Web3. I think it's the next big thing. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Pleasure.
Thank you. If you've reached this point, thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, don't forget to go follow and rate the podcast. I am your host Shouryaa Sharma, and I will see you again very soon. Out.